America 5288. I got my gloves on because my hands, mosquitoes have bit me and my cuticles have a hand trouble. So I have to put my gloves on to make sure that I don't get any infections in my skin. Remember that when you're messing with soil, you don't know exactly how rough it is, and putting your hands in dirt all the time can make your hands rough. So I see why people wear gloves. I just don't like, I like putting my hands in there because it makes me feel closer to God. Anyway, today's video is about up-potting some of our seedlings. The first thing we're going to up-pot is our Scotch bonnet. This is yellow Scotch bonnet from the Homestead Heart seed haul that I had about a month ago. Look how big they are. To me, that's big because Scotch bonnet takes a long time to grow. And I'm happy that they've sprouted because I just looked outside and somehow one of my pepper plants, my habanero pepper plants, bit the dust. So it has a lot of fruit on it. I'm gonna harvest as much fruit on it as possible because I don't think I can revive it. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. I watered it like I watered all the rest of them, and somehow it just decided to just die on me. It's all shriveled up. So there's probably nothing I could do to revive it, but that's why you keep planting. You keep on trying to get stuff in there. You always progressively plant because, you know, just like people pass away, so do plants. And, you know, if it's their time, it's their time. I know that I tried, so I don't feel too bad about it. I just don't like it when I see a plant die. But I had to, you know, out with the old, in with the new. So we got I'm gonna call it habanero. We got our yellow Scotch bonnet here. And I have 2 cups. I went out there and got a bunch of my small cups this is from Bootstrap Farm if you all want to know where these cute little cups come from. You can order them online. And I'm going to fill the cups halfway, each of them. And I know y'all are looking at this and say, hey, that's her dining room table. I don't eat at this table. We don't eat at this table. I can't remember when I've ate at this table or the last time I've ever ate at this table. So I'm going to take this little straw out that says Scotchy Yellow, or Scotch Yellow. That's what I wrote on there. And I'm going to try to get these out. Without damaging the roots. So you take it and you squeeze the sides, and hopefully this thing, there it is, it comes out. Right? Look at the roots. There are roots down there. So you got to be careful, right? So we're going to try to wiggle these things apart without losing a lot of the root structure on the seedling. There we are. I broke them both apart. And you know this is more dirt than I thought. So what I'm going to do here is I have another Bonnie cup. If y'all buy Bonnie from at Walmart and they're at the big box stores, we're going to use this cup. So we're going to put one of them back where it came from and just put some more soil around it. Squeeze it down. Don't press it really hard. You're just trying to get the air out of the pot. You're not trying to squeeze the roots down. You'll damage the roots. You'll squeeze them to death. Like somebody hugging you too hard. That's uncomfortable. Don't do that to your plant. So there you go. That's one. Then I'm gonna take the Bonnie cup, use that. Some more dirt in here. I'm so thankful that I am inside. It is hot out there. It's hot out there. Keep wetting the ground for the hens. And I put a pool out there, and one of them is smart. That hen will go in that pool and just stand in the middle of it. I'm like, why aren't the rest of the dummies getting in the pool? Why? I can imagine what the pool is like at some of the parks, and oh man, I can imagine what's going on out there because everybody's hot and they want, the water, just putting your feet, if you get really hot, wet your head and put your feet in a little tub of water. And that's where you lose most of your heat. I noticed from living in New York as a kid. We used to make sure we had good socks on and good shoes on make sure that we had our head covered, because you could see steam coming from people's heads that didn't have a hat on. They were losing all their body heat out of their head or out of their feet. So those are the two things that'll warm you up or it'll cool you down. Put your feet in a little tub of water, a foot soak. That'll bring it down. And then get yourself a little wet rag. And I mean, down here in Texas, you see guys with towels on, just sitting on top of their head. And initially, I was like, that is so weird. They look so ridiculous. But I know that they didn't care because it was hot. And that was the only way they could cool their head down. A lot of them didn't have any hair on their head. They were bald. So that's better than getting some kind of cancer in your skin cancer. Skin cancer is no joke. I had one of my coworkers get skin cancer. So you be careful out there if you're out there. Put that towel on your head. I don't care what nobody thinks. Just like in the wintertime, my mom would say, "Oh, you're trying to be cute. You're gonna catch a death of cold if you try to be cute. You're gonna catch a death of cold." That's what she used to say. She was right. At this point in my life, I don't care. I could have 1,100 million colors on, and they don't have to be the best clothes, but if they're going to keep me from being exposed to the elements. Another example is out here in this Texas sun where it's extremely hot. When I was in the military, we had long sleeves, and we would blouse, or we would roll up our sleeves, but sometimes it was so hot that you left those bad boys down. You did not want the sun to hit your arms. You'd rather have your sweat under your shirt for a little while than have the sun beating on your skin. We always had a hat on. Always. Outside, you're required to have a hat on. Only in particular places could you not have your hat on. I was really upset when they went from having the caps to having those berets, because the berets, those things, man, they were hot. They were wool and they were hot. So anyway, that was not a good move for me. I was like, first of all, I couldn't do my hair the way I wanted to. Second of all, it was hot and they were black. Then we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. We were wearing the patrol caps again, or we were wearing our desert hats, which is the floppy hats. And I never wore the desert hat that much. I always wore my patrol cap because it covered your face. I mean, it put a shade on the front of your face, and I did not want to get sunburned. Anyway, I'm going too far. We got our Scotch bonnets done. Just remember, cover up, even if you're a little bit hot, cover up your skin, because no matter what color you are, if you're an American, you're mixed, most likely. You can get skin cancer. I have another story for you. I had a girlfriend, her name was Elka. And Elka was dark complected, right? And years ago, before Elka had this experience, my mother has brown skin, right? And we went to, I think we were in St. Croix. And I told my mother's Jamaican. I told my mother, you need to cover your skin up, Mom. The sun is wicked. The sun is piercing my skin. It was like I was frying. And I'm her daughter, so I have her genes, right? And she was like, oh, no, Denise, I'm a Jamaican. We in the sun all the time. Well, she got a sunburn on her face. And after that, she kind of learned her lesson. She was a grown woman. Both of us was grown women, but I was like, she's my mom. And I can only say, I tried to tell her, maybe she's right. She's a Jamaican, but she burnt. Fast forward. Elka and I I used to go to estate auctions all the time, and Elka went with me. We were in Kansas. We were stationed at Fort Riley at the time. And Elka and I went out to this farm, right? And me, along with all the other light-complected people, were all hiding when they were, doing the auction out there, and they were under like an awning. The auctioneer was under an awning, so he wasn't being exposed. And I'm pretty sure he had a lot of sunscreen on. He wasn't light complected because it seemed like he had been kissed by the sun quite a bit, because he was a white guy, but his skin was like golden. It was beautiful. But the rest of us, we were hiding in the garage and bidding, putting up our little sign from in the garage behind each other, right? Well, Elka was dark complected. She didn't think she could get a sunburn. And she just sat there like in the front of the garage where the sun was coming down. She's like, oh girl, this feels so good. And I said, you know, you need to move away from there because it's too hot and the sun's rays are beaming really bad. And you can get sunburn. No, I can't. No, I can't. We work together, right? So I didn't see her Sunday. Monday I go to work and she said, oh God, Jamaica, my face is burning. It won't stop burning. I told her, I said, you need to get some aloe vera because you have a sunburn. No, I don't. No, I don't. We don't get sunburn. I don't get sunburn. She was from, I think, South Carolina. We don't get sunburn in South Carolina, girl. We don't get sunburn. I think, what was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, her face started peeling. And I felt so bad for her. But it was, I mean, just like my mother, she thought that because she had melanated skin that the sun would not affect her. And she was wrong. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plant the Brussels sprouts. Let me put some more stuff in there. Some more of this soil. My dogs are just chilling. They ain't making no noise. The only one making noise is that I want to call him Raggedy. That Raggedy Rooster. He's a terrible, terrible animal. He's just so miserable. I bring him in, he cries. I let him out, he cries. I put him in the yard with everybody else. He beats them up and make a bunch of noise. He's retarded. He got a few screws. He ain't got all the hand follicles that everybody else has in their, every other hand has in their brains because he's miserable. I took him and I was like, okay, I felt bad for him because, I don't know what to do with him. He's just a problem animal. And I was like, okay, maybe he's hot. So I took him and he lets me pick him up after I catch him, that is. He doesn't fight me much. So I took him and I stood him up in the pool, right? To cool him down because he seemed like he was hot. So I stood him up in the pool to let his little legs get wet. And then I kind of doused him with a little bit of water, like splashed him a little bit, not to make him scared. He wasn't afraid at all. And for like 2 or 3 minutes, he was just peaceful. So then I just let him go and he started crying again. I was like, there's nothing I could do to make you happy. There's nothing. I don't know if he's in pain. I don't know. He just cries all the time. And then he chases the other rooster around and beats him up because he's meaner than him. He's a bantam rooster and he's chasing the big rooster around. It's hilarious to see that big leghorn running around for his life and this little bantam rooster coming after him. They say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. Well, that is true. That little rooster the bantam is beating up the leghorn. Incredible. Now I'm saying, White, you punk. I shouldn't say that word. You chicken. you chicken. Why are you running from that little rooster? Why? And while I'm talking, I'm putting my Brussels sprouts in. Why are you running for that baby rooster? He's half your size. And White is terrified, running. And then Cutie, right? Cutie is just she's going with the strongest rooster on the block. So she starts schmoozing up to Rudy. Initially, she ain't want nothing to do with him, but now she see that White is scared of him. Oh, she's in love now. I was like, you ain't nothing but a scallywag. That's what we used to call people when I was a kid. You are with the biggest bully on the block. Huh? Okay, Cutie, I got it. Survival of the fittest, right? She's like, I don't want to be with him. He's a chicken. I want the one that will fight for me. Rudy, come here, baby. I see you. Rudy, I'm in love with you, boy. Follow me. Come with me to the hen house. Meet me in the hen house. Wink, wink. I find them in there all the time together, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are y'all doing in here? This is a birthing area. It's not a place for you all to you know, meet up. It's not a hookup area. Yeah, she's something else. The only time she's with White is when Rudy's locked up, which is most of the time. Rudy's locked up most of the time because he won't shut up. And I catch her. And then she's like, you know, she's pleading for him. She'll get in there with him and she'll get in front of me when I'm trying to catch him and try to distract me. I'm like, if you don't get out of my way, cutie, I like you, but he is making too. The only reason why he and I have at it is because he's making a bunch of noise. Constantly. I put him in a pet carrier and put him right here at the door. Cock-a-doodle-doo! I'm like, oh my God, you're a terrorist. You're terrorizing me. Just like the other two. Remember this story? Remember, what was his name? Epiphania and Charlie? They're gone. They are gone. I took them out to the country. I don't want to do that to him because he's little. He's little. He's a little bantam rooster with a bunch of mouth. A mouthy little rooster. Okay, so I have these 3 Brussels sprouts done, and we have the 2 Scotch bonnet done. 2 Scotch bonnet, 3 Brussels sprouts. Now these are the 3 Brussels sprouts where I breathed. Remember when I was breathing really hard over my tray, and I had a bunch of seeds in my hand, and then they disappeared? That's what these are. That's how I know what they are. So that's it for the Homestead Heart tray. The only thing that I did not have germinate, and I think it's just because it was so hot, was the gray zucchini. And I had 1 butternut squash that didn't come up and 2 cushaw that didn't come up. And that's it. What is this? Honeydew melon came up. And what was the other one? Spaghetti squash. I don't like spaghetti squash, but they came up too. I already planted those in the yard. So this is all done. What is this? Yellow Scotch bonnet. I'll put that right there so I'll know. So these are the Brussels sprouts. Let me get the other 3. Now these Brussels sprouts do not look as healthy as these. Y'all see the difference? And these had a smaller area to work with. So I think it's because of the way I watered them. I'm going to use bad grammar. The way I had watered them. Why do we do that? Why do we add extra words to our sentences? It's not required. It's not required. And it's all from, it's all from different areas of the country. Like in New York, a lot of my peers used to say use guys or uses. Uses need to get over here. I'm like, uses. That's not a word. Or use guys. But it's just certain areas. That was Queens. That's where we moved after we moved out of Brooklyn. It's a Queens way to talk. And different parts of New York City have, believe it or not, they have a slight difference in the language. So, my cousins, when I joined the military and I came back to visit, they started saying, "What happened to you, girl? What happened? What's up with you?" I was like, "What are you talking about? Your whole dialect, everything about you, all the way you speak, completely different. No one would ever think that you're from New York City." I was like, "Well, that's okay." I don't want people to necessarily know where I'm from when they talk to me. I had, I was in the melting pot, the true melting pot, the military. People from everywhere are there. Every walk of life. We have kids. I came in when I was a little girl. I was 17. We have kids. We have, criminals. We had some criminals in there. We had some guys that, they were given a choice. And there was a choice years ago where the judge would say, either you join the military or you go to jail. I think they should bring that back. Because some of them guys straightened out. He was like, well, I'm here because the judge sent me here. And I was like, what? The judge? Your mama? He was like, no. I got in trouble. And the judge in them little towns, They're like, okay, I need you to sign up for 4 years. Sign up for 4 years, sir. What are you talking about? I need you to join the military for 4 years. That's what they used to do to some guys after the draft. Join the military or go to jail. I think they were talking about the draft in that cadence. But some of the guys that I served with, they were given the choice of either joining the military or doing a prison sentence. And the judge in their little small town was the one handing out that. He's like, I want to see the paperwork. I'll stop all this paperwork from you going to jail for what you did. But you need to join the service. I'm gonna straighten you out, boy. These were not black, white. This was different. These were different guys from every walk of life. Spanish, black, white. Couple of stories like that. The judge was like straightening them out. I had this one guy who worked for me. And his mom, he was a Caucasian guy. And he was one of those guys. And why did I do that? He was one of those guys, and I'm gonna have to leave it there. He got in trouble for spewing some kind of racial slur. Racial slur. That's what I'm gonna call it. To some African Americans. And he was in their car at the time. This is at Fort Riley. Those brothers dragged him out of that car and tried to beat him to death. He worked for me. He was only 18 years old. He was a little boy. A racist little boy, but he was a little boy. So, man, he works for me. And I was like, even though I knew what he did, nobody deserved to get beat up like that. And then I went into the commander's office, the company commander, which is usually a company commander is usually an 03, which is a captain. Went to the company commander, and the company commander was also a white guy. And he looked at me, he says, I gotta punish him. I was like, every time I looked at his face, they beat him so bad that he could barely see. We got him from the hospital, and he was just beaten. They beat him to a pulp. And nothing happened to them. I don't know who they knew or whatever, because nothing justifies beating somebody like that. And then they just left him in a field. The MPs found him in the field, beat up and drunk. Beat to a pulp and drunk. And then they found out who did it. They asked him why they did it. Then they said it was rape. He was calling them the N-word in their car. That's not right. But what they did was not right either. I'd just kicked him out of the car and left him out in the field, make him find his way home. They beat that man or that little boy. He was 18, so I guess he's not a little boy, but they beat him almost to death. Nothing happened to him. Then I'm in there with the commander, and the commander's like, I gotta punish him because everybody, it wasn't just them who heard it. It was a couple of people heard it. Who knows how many people beat that guy up. And he said, I gotta punish him because we don't condone that type of behavior. And I guess the commander was, a little afraid that people were gonna see him as a racist if he didn't do anything. And he wasn't. He was a nice guy. He was a decent guy. So I was like, sir, come on, look at the guy's face. Don't you think he suffered enough? He was like, I gotta still process him under UCMJ. I gotta give him at least an Article 15. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. So that's what they did. They gave him Article 15. They may have gave the other people the other guys an Article 15, but the Article 15 they got did not go on their permanent record. I know that because I checked on it. Did not go on their permanent record. And I was like, man, whatever he did, whatever he said, the N-word has got to be enough to just set somebody off. But man, he paid for it. Not only did he get beat up, but they gave him a field grade Article 15, which is 1 month's base pay. 1 month's base pay. And they usually take it in halves. They split it in half just in case, some of these people have families who get in trouble. So they took half of his salary 1 month, and then they took half the next month. So not only was he broke, but then they give you like extra duty. Extra duty means that you're going to be scrubbing toilets, polishing floors. I mean, you're not going to have no free time. You get off work and then you work until like, I forget what time, 8, 9 o'clock, until all of your chores, your extra chores are done, which means you're going to be scrubbing the toilets for the barracks, or you're going to be polishing the floor, you're going to be mowing the lawn, not like a normal house lawn. It's a big, like in front of a building lawn, or you're going to be picking up trash. They got some weird stuff that they do when you're on extra duty. Some weird stuff. Some stuff that nobody wants to do. And they're not going to pay anybody. They always got somebody. Just like here in Texas, if you get into you do a traffic violation and you don't have the money to pay, or they don't want your money, they put you out on the side of the highway picking up trash in the Texas heat on the highway, on the interstate. And you'll see the guys in Hawaii, it used to be the prisoners who did that. Now, in Texas, you get in trouble. That might be one of your punishments. And it's usually a road violation, like speeding or something. Like, yeah, okay. We don't want your money. We want your money, and we want you to do this. We want restitution. And by restitution, I mean you need to get out there on the side of the highway and start picking up trash. That's how Texas roads are clean. Clean. And I didn't know where these guys came from. I just assumed that they were doing the same thing Hawaii did. Because Hawaii, as I said, it was the prisoners doing it. Not in Texas. Road violations are, a violation where, they don't want to give you they don't want to give you a prison sentence. They just want you to clean up the highway. And you'll see the little truck out there, and you'll see bags on the side of like ours is, one of our highways is I-10. You see bags of trash on the side of I-10. And then you'll see the poor guys out there, and women, men and women, picking up trash, and putting it in trash bags. God knows how long you have to do that. And you see one guy in the truck, a city worker or a county worker, whoever, following him, and then, they get in the back of the pickup, I guess, or in the back of the van after they finish. They have them picking up trash for miles. And it's always a lot of them. I'm like, how many people in trouble? Texas ain't no joke. Don't get in trouble in Texas. They're going to be like, oh, free labor. Well, we need some free labor. So there we go. We got that. This, okay, I've been running my mouth. This is not a Brussels sprout. This is lavender. So I want another cup for my lavender, but I don't have it. And I don't want to go out there. It's hot out there. Let me see. I wasn't thinking this thing through. I was going to put them all in here, but that's not a good idea. And I have 3 of them right here, right there. I have 3 of them. So what I'm going to do is, how many cups do I have? Here, this is purple. Purple is for lavender, right? I'll grab these 3 cups. And I'm going to try to separate these 3 and save this one plant. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can do it. I'm making a mess on the floor. But I need a mop anyway, so all is well. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to get these out. Pop these out of this thing. I don't know how I missed that big old seed. Look at that plant. And then I got 3 little lavender there. Let me do this big one first. Let me get him out of the way. Let me see if I can get him out of the way. All right, I got him out. Or her out. It out. Don't know who you are. It's a squash or it's a cantaloupe or it's, I don't know, it could be a honeydew melon, it could be a melon. I'll find out eventually. The mystery squash or melon. What did I put in it? See, I wouldn't know because I planted so many things in these trays and I repurposed the soil. So, sometimes a seed doesn't germinate with the rest of them. It takes a little while, like a couple of weeks or months. and then it pops up. And it, look. So that's one. Let me get another little pink cup. I don't have any more pink cups. See, Jamaica. I will put some more dirt in this purple one. Yeah, I'll put this some more dirt in this purple one. I'm gonna pop this one out. This is just, I'm just potting all these seedlings because I need this tray for my fall seedlings, even though I have more trays, but I like to use the same ones because when they break up, after you use them a while, they break up. And then I'll have new ones, or what to me is new ones, because I'll get them from the store for free. Man, you don't want to go in there. He's like, I can't fit in there. I'm too fat. You got it, boy. Let me see. I see a seed. No, is that the seed? Or is it a rock? No, it's a rock. I thought I could identify it with what was left behind. Sometimes the seed will be stuck on a leaf. Nope. This thing is hardened off too. Should have just put it in the ground, but I'll leave it in here for about a week and then I'll put it in the ground with the rest of the stuff. And it'll tell me who it is. They always do. Just like people will always tell you who they are eventually. Sometimes you gotta wait it out though. You can't rush. Just like with plants, you can't rush to find out what they are if you don't, or if they're not already identifying themselves. Because some people, they'll hide behind a mask. It's like this plant is hiding behind a mask, but there are telltale signs of what it is, but you're not sure until the fruit. You always know people by their fruit, the fruits of their labor. That's how you can tell. That's when you know what they're made of, the fruit. Anyway, this little Jamaica sidebar. But you gotta be patient. Don't rush. Don't rush to determine what somebody is, because you might be wrong about them, for the good or for the bad. Sometimes people put people into a certain group. This looks like Kusha. Sure does. It looks like Kusha to me, but I'm not sure. So either Kusha or honey. No, this looks like Kusha to me. But you know what? We'll see. We will see. It'll tell me who it is. But sometimes people will hide behind a mask, or sometimes you'll look at somebody and just say, that's blah, blah, blah. That person is going to be this. And they fool you by what they look like. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's like these plants. It looks like a kusha, but it might be a honey, what is it? A honey nut squash. A honey nut butter squash. Because they're similar. Or it might be something else. Who knows? It could be a cantaloupe. People hide. If you don't know them, don't judge them. If you don't know the plant, don't judge it. Till you know that you know. And eventually, if you wait things out, you'll eventually find out. You'll eventually find out anyway. You just gotta be patient. Don't rush. The mask always comes off. All right, so I have my lavender, right? And I know it's lavender because I marked it. Oh, I don't want to put that in there. I want to put them in purple. Purple for lavender. Lavender. Woohoo! That was what that was supposed to be in. It's supposed to be in purple too, but it escaped me because I was running out of my mouth. All right. I went to the store today. Whew! Man, there's a lot of people out there. A lot of people out there. It's a holiday weekend, or a holiday is coming, and they're shopping for the holidays, 4th of July. And this is like the second year we're able to have able to have any celebrations, because there's gonna be a lot of people who are having outings or going to outings. They're getting their barbecue on. They're getting their barbecue together for their family outings. Y'all be careful out there for the family outings. There's good things that can happen, and there's also little bad things that happen sometimes during the holidays. People get drunk, and watch out for your family. They look like they're they're overindulging. Take them home. Make sure they're safe, and make sure everybody else is safe from them. But make sure they're safe too, because that's one of the things that, come on. All right, that's one of the things that happen during the holidays. Accidents happen. You don't want that. You don't want that in your family. You don't want to celebrate by somebody getting hurt. Celebrate, and then somebody get hurt. Not celebrate when somebody gets hurt. Celebrate and then somebody gets hurt. It's the last thing you want. Okay, so this little lavender is going to be happy, happy, happy. Joy, joy, joy. Look at them. They look so proud. They're standing up. Saying, my gosh, thank you. Thank you. I was getting, I didn't think I was going to make it. I was getting tired of sleeping with my brothers and sisters. Remember when you was a little kid? I don't know if my family was the only one that did it. Everybody got bathed in the same tub. Oh, my God. When I think about it, I get freaked out. All the kids in the same tub because your parents didn't want to run the water twice, or they couldn't afford to run the water twice. I think back then water didn't cost that much, so it's because they didn't have the time. They just wanted to get it over with, get everybody bathed at the same time. That is so disgusting to me. But it's no, you know what? I'm thinking about that, but what's the difference between you getting in a pool with a bunch of strangers? We got a pool here. I ain't going to no pool with these people. There's probably at least 80 people in there today because it's hot. And there's a whole bunch of houses here. I'm like, that pool. Sometimes there's only standing room in that pool. I've driven by and I'm like, that is unsanitary. I don't care how much chlorine they got in there. There's too many people in there. Too many people. They should have a restriction on how many people can get into that water. They're like a bunch of sardines and they could only do like this. I'm like, man, go in a bathtub. It's safer. You're in there with their kids playing, I'm like, oh, I don't know. We don't think alike. You don't see what I see. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Come on, Mr. Lavender. I'm so sorry. I had to dump it out and do it again. Because he didn't get it. I didn't cover up enough. I didn't cover up enough of him. His roots were still being exposed. There we are. He's not in the center, but he's in there. Not perfect, but he's perfectly imperfect. Pat him down lightly. There we are. Lavender is in. So, we're done with these two sets. This, I think, was a Homestead Heart tray. Yeah, this was the Homestead Heart tray. The gray zucchini didn't make it. That's because it's dry as a chip in there. That's probably my fault. I got all the other ones planted in. The butternut squash planted in. What was this? Cushaw, honeydew, and the other one was, I think it was cantaloupe. They're all planted. And what wasn't planted are in these little cups. This is another tray that I had with lavender and flowers. But I don't know what these are. I don't know. I'll look back on the video and try to figure it out. Or I'll just wait. I'll probably just wait. I will just wait. They'll tell me who they are. So, that's it for now. I'm going to do another video where I'm doing the curly kale. But this is the replanting of my Scotch bonnet, my Brussels sprouts. I'm so proud of them. My lavender and the three mystery plants. There's 3 of them here. So let me line them up. Move this out of the way. That's not done. It's coming to the end of all of the summer stuff, and some of these are fall. The Brussels sprouts are for fall. I'm just going to try to keep them alive until like August. It's still hot here in August, but I'm going to try to keep them alive until August, and then late July or early August, I'll probably put them in the ground depending on how hot it is. Because sometimes where I live, August is even hotter, believe it or not, or just as hot. So there are my mysteries. These have got to be, it's a squash. Squash, lavender, for lavender. Been waiting for lavender. I need that. I need some eucalyptus too, but I don't have any. My Brussels sprouts, if you look at that video where I blew those seeds off, because Brussels sprout seeds are small, where I blew those seeds off, and I was like, where's the seed? Oh no! So here's my Brussels sprouts. And I'm gonna mark these. I have 6 of those. And I believe Brussels sprouts are perennials. Alexa, are Brussels sprouts perennials?
From moviecultists.com. Brussels sprouts are a biennial, and their natural growing cycle is 2 years long.
Thank you. 2 years. So I'll have Brussels sprouts for 2 years. I thought they were perennial. I was wrong. I'm glad I checked. So there's the Brussels sprouts, and here, now these are perennials. These are my Scotch bonnet. One died, and I have 2. So I don't know, I'm cleaning it up. I got another video coming. But I'm glad that you all are with me. This is the beginning and the ending of an era. These are summer crops. I'm just gonna wait for them to get a bit bigger before I put them in a huge container. They are not going in the ground. Not. And Brussels sprouts, I'm gonna leave them. I'll probably put them in a safe area. Same thing with the lavender. And then these, I'm just gonna wait until they get a bit bigger. This one's good enough, big enough to repot, but I'm gonna wait till these 2 catch up, and then I'll put them out in the yard. So this is the ending and the beginning. So these are for fall, right? And these are summer. I'm doing this so that I can start planting my seeds for fall, for my fall crop. So I thank you guys for being with me. This is Jamerica 5288. Patience is a virtue, and patience is rare. You have to learn it. You have to practice it, because if you rush things, anything you rush is not going to do as well as if you took your time doing it. If you have the time, is that a mosquito here behind me? If you have the time and the patience, it's worth it. Always worth it. It's Jamerica 5288. I thank you guys for being with me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.